What is gravy, everybody? My god, it feels like a while since I've said that. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. I did not anticipate being away for quite as long as I was. I think it's been almost exactly a month since the last video went up. And there's a few reasons for that. I'm not going to go into them now. No one needs to know all that jazz. But the main thing is I wanted to reevaluate what we're going to do with the channel. Which brings us to today's video. We're going to have a bit of a chill time looking through this guy's trophy list. I'm going to forewarn you, it is rather underwhelming. Considering I'm a trophy hunter, it's not great. But no faffing about. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, it does help me out a ton, and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the exciting things I've got planned for this channel. And let's go. Okay, so here we are. Here's all of the lovely stats you can see, and this is where we start to understand it's rather underwhelming. Because my completion percentage is garbage. 46%. Not even 46%. Oh dear. It makes me feel bad every time I see it. The main problem for me is that when I started my profile, I didn't care. I didn't care about trophies. What's all this about? I just want to play games. But in very recent times, that's all changed. It's all about the bling bling. You know what I mean? So this is where our lovely 53 platinums has come from. I want to say at least 45 of those have been since the pandemic, because hasn't everyone been getting platinums since the pandemic? Isn't that what we do? Anyway, let's dive in, shall we? Let's see what we've got. So I'm doing it in alphabetical order, so it's no particular time frames or anything. We're just going to go through, see some of the things that I've done, some of the games that I've not finished that you can all berate me for. It's going to be a great time. Okay, starting off, Plague Tale. Absolutely love that game. I mean, I bounced off it the first time I played it, I can't lie. I struggled to really get into it. In fact, I think the first time I actually went for the platinum, I kept missing one collectible and had to go back and try again and try again and try again. I kept missing it. And I actually paused for a while and gave up. I'm very glad that I went back though, because that game was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for the sequel. What I forgot? After Party. Alan Wake Remastered, obviously you guys all know. Played that on the channel. I did go back, play through Nightmare. Wasn't that bad actually. I actually found it easier playing Nightmare than playing the regular game for some reason. Bunch of Assassin's Creed. Yes, I am a sucker for Ubisoft. I apologise. Although, my brain's caught on now, because after getting the Platinum Trophy in Valhalla, broke me. My god, it was just so much stuff. Not entertaining content necessarily, just stuff to do. And that burned me out for sure. Astro's Playroom, absolutely fabulous game. Everyone needs to play that. As soon as you get a PS5, should be the first thing you do. It's so good. Astro is my favourite little mascot dude. He's just so cute. He's so cool. And that game, it just does such a good job of showing off the controller and what the controller can do. It's absolutely fabulous. And it looks stunning as well. A couple of the Batman games, Arkham Knight. This was, if you look, 2015. This was like back when I first started the profile, and I didn't care, and I've just not gotten around to going back to it yet. I do want to go back to all of them. I bought the Arkham collection. It's over there somewhere. I do want to go back through and play those. Arkham Origins. Unfortunately, you can't get it now because there are, or at least as far as I'm aware, the online servers closed. A couple of Telltale games. Bioshock was what I was doing most recently on the channel. And whilst that series is now defunct, I'm not gonna lie to you, I will probably go back and finish that game just because I enjoyed it so much when I was playing it. Yes, I will finish Bloodborne. People don't at me. Like, just me and that game, we have a history, okay? It's just between us. Stay out of it. We'll work it out. I promise. Borderlands 3, this was actually... I had a lot of fun with this game. I'm not going to lie. The pre-sequel, not so much. I didn't enjoy that. But the reason I enjoyed Borderlands 3 so much was because I played through it with a friend. And I think for these sorts of games, that's the best way to do it. Because it's so much more fun running around with your mate, just shooting aliens. It's just great. It's a great time. I actually don't think I'm too far off. I just need to finish off collectibles and then a couple of miscellaneous trophies. We did actually finish the entire game, so I might go back to that at some point. Bugsnax, fabulous game. Don't need to say much more about that. If you know, you know. If you don't know, play it. Trust me. Just trust me. Call of Duty, there's no chance. There's no chance I'm going to get these. Especially the ones with multiplayer. Look at this. 4.18%, 3.6%, 1.1%, 1.5%. I'm just not going to do it. I've not got the time for that. Moving on. Concrete Genie, absolutely beautiful game. Lovely little, very short, platinum, 9 hours. It's just a good game. I think I actually did this in one sitting, which was that was a day. I think this was just before the pandemic. So this is like right towards the start of me getting into the platinums and all that. Control. Yes, it's on here twice. No, I never finished the PS4 version. I actually played this almost a year before the PS5. I just bounced off it. I don't know what it was. The first time I played through this game, it just didn't click. And then, obviously, the Ultimate Edition came on PS Plus, and that was it. I absolutely loved it. I blitzed through it. Cyberpunk. Dark Souls, yeah. I like the games, okay? I do. I'm not very good at them. Like, Dark Souls 3 is the most I played of them, which should tell you everything, really, because it's the easiest one. I would love to be able to go back to Dark Souls Remastered and actually get into it, and maybe at some point I will. Maybe that can be a little goal of mine for this year, to go back and play Dark Souls 1. But, man, those games. Devil May Cry, the original Devil May Cry. I have been going for this. I may still get this. The only thing that's putting me off, or that's stressing me out, and it's not the difficulty. I don't have a problem restarting and dying and restarting and dying and restarting. I don't have an issue with that. But the one trophy that's sort of holding me back a little bit is this one. Unlock all the entries for every enemy file in the status menu. And that's because a lot of them are very RNG. You need enemies to do specific attacks, which you then need to do specific actions to counteract that attack, or to get killed by that attack. And I even wrote a list of all the ones I needed to do. But that's the sort of thing where I'm just a bit like, oh, I can't be bothered doing this. At some point I will go for it. I will. Maybe. Dragon Quest XI. Love that game. Highly recommend anyone that wants a very traditional JRPG. Definitely a good shout there. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Yes, it's a walking sim, but for me, at least, the story was just so engaging, and working out the mystery and discovering what happened to this town and what happened to all the people. I found that fascinating, so I had no problem going through this. Far Cry 5, I'm not going to go back to that. I'm not going to lie. It's just going to sit at 53% forever. Unless Ubisoft bring out more DLC, which wouldn't surprise me. A bunch of FIFAs? No. I'm no good at FIFA. I enjoy football. I'm not crazy about it. But FIFA was always my sort of wind down game. Everyone has one, don't they? Come on. Where you're playing some really long, epic RPG. And then you need to chill out for a little bit. So I would boot up FIFA. So much so, in fact, that for, I think last year, FIFA 20 was my most played game of the year. Because I just kept jumping in after I'd played something else. And it was just constant throughout the year. But I finally got over EA's shit. And that's it. I'm not going to bother anymore. Final Fantasies. Everyone loves a good Final Fantasy, don't they? Final Fantasy Remake, twice. Yes, I auto-popped it. Don't shout at me. I actually have a reason for this. So, when I bought Integrate on the PS5, I was under the impression I would need my save file in order to play the DLC. So I copied my save file over, booted the game up, everything auto-popped, and then I realised that the DLC is actually its own separate thing and has nothing to do with your save file. So I didn't need to do it. But we've got an extra platinum out of it. I still need to actually play the DLC. I sort of lost track of that one a little bit. I will go back to it though. Same with Final Fantasy 12. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy this game. I really did. So I bought the Zodiac Age, God, over a year and a half ago now, I think. And I've only booted it up once and started it, but that one's quite long and grindy as far as I'm aware. Especially beating, what's the dragon thing called? Is it Yasmat? That's it, Yasmat. Man, at some point I might go and do it. But Final Fantasy 15. Now, this one I had to get because this was one of the first games I finished on my PS4 when I got it, and it's one of those things where it just holds a certain place in your heart, doesn't it? When you tie it to a certain thing, like I got my PS4, I got Final Fantasy 15, I finished it, I loved it. I mean, obviously that one bit in the game where it's absolute bullcrap, but 4 years and 10 months later, I went back and I defeated the big tortoise thing. And yes, I cheesed it with that ring because my God, I was not sitting there for 5 hours fighting a tortoise. I wasn't. We got Ghost of Tsushima, both things. God of War 2018. You've got to have it on your list, haven't you? If you play PlayStation and like trophies, it's got to be there. Just has to be. GTA. To be honest, I did want to go back to the old school GTAs. I'm not going to do that stupid thingy edition ones. Just no. I have no problem going back and playing the old PS2 graphics ones at all. I'd rather do that, I think. Gris or Gree, however you want to say that. That's a lovely little game. The artwork and everything, it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just amazing. I love it. Hades. I absolutely blasted this game for like 3 days and then didn't touch it again. And that's completely on me. I am going to go back to it because I loved it. This was around the same time I was starting to do YouTube, and for some reason in my brain it was like, well, if I'm playing a game, I have to be making content. I can't play a game without making YouTube. How dare you? And so I started trying to make videos for Hades, which never saw the light of day and never will. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to it. I have to. Hellblade, another fabulous game. If I could say one thing about my list, it's I try and stick to playing games I actually want to play. Like, I won't go out of my way to finish a platinum if I can't stand the game. Which, if you have that mental fortitude to do that, power to you, because I don't. I cannot. And there's a couple of games on this list where it's like that. But yeah, Hellblade was a fabulous game. Can't wait for the second one. It just looks stunning. Horizon Zero Dawn, another one that has to be there if you like PlayStation and trophies. I haven't finished the DLC or done New Game Plus. Maybe that's my goal before Forbidden West comes out. I'll go back and I'll replay Zero Dawn. Because I think it got patched, didn't it? I think it got a 60 FPS patch for the PS5. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Kena Bridge of Spirits, that's the one that I'm playing right now. In fact, as of recording this, I have just finished the game for the first time. But that leaves finishing the game on Master Spirit Guide difficulty, which is, according to the internet, really, really sodding hard. And I played through on hard to start off with because I was like, if I'm going to have to play the hardest difficulty, I'd rather jump in at the highest I can now, so it's not as much of a shock. Even though, as far as I understand it, it's still a massive leap from hard to master. But where are we? There we go. Beat the game on master difficulty. Now, I would love to know how many of the people that achieved that actually got it, rather than using the exploit. I mean, if it's there, you'd use it, wouldn't you? But, ayo, we just gotta do with what we can do, eh? Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares 2, loved both of these games. Little Nightmares, I actually picked up completely randomly one day. I had no idea what it was. I picked up the box and I was like, this looks pretty cool. You know, I can vibe with this. Little kid, looks creepy. What could go wrong, eh? Again, wasn't bothered about trophies at the time, and I mean, there isn't a platinum, but the 100% is actually ultra rare because of one trophy, which is, I think it's a speed run where you can't die. Let me double check. Yeah, it's this one, Hard to the Core. I think you have to speedrun the game in under like an hour without dying. And while I'm sure that is possible with some useful checkpointing, maybe saves come in, I'm not sure if I'm ready to try and do that yet. Maybe one day, but not today. Lost in Random, another fantastic game that came out this year. Absolutely love that game. It was so different. Like, it was this Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas-esque world where everyone lives by the roll of a dice and you fight battles by the roll of a dice with a deck of cards. It was wacky, it was crazy, it was everything I wanted it to be. Oh, I can't recommend that enough. I really can't. Mafia 3, I could probably go back for that. Do I want to? Not necessarily. It was an alright game. It was enjoyable enough. GTA-ish game. Maneater, fun enough game, I suppose. You get to live out all those shark power fantasies you've always wanted to. If you have, I'm no judge. Marvel games. Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales. I loved all three of these games so much. I still can't believe how much I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't expect much from the marketing before it came out. And to be honest, I wasn't going to bother until I heard how everyone was raving about it. And, well, if it's Guardians of the Galaxy and everyone thinks it's good, then I can't not play it, can I? I have to. Flippin' heck. Who do you think I am? Not a nerd. And I mean, don't need to say anything about Spider-Man, do we? Other than the fact that I'm going to get crucified for not playing the DLC for Spider-Man. But I couldn't be bothered. I'm not a big DLC person. Let's just put it that way. Mass Effect. Look at this. 1, 2, and 3. All done this year. Yes, I bought the Legendary Edition. Yes, it's the first time I've ever played Mass Effect. But, man, I absolutely love these games. I didn't expect to enjoy them as much as I did. Obviously, I know the revered as these incredible operatic space games, but I was just never convinced I was going to be obsessed with it. I was incredibly wrong. They were so good. I loved each of them for different reasons. Controversial opinion, 3 is my favourite. Right, we're into some dodgy territory, with a lot of unfinished titles. Metro, I couldn't get into it. I really wanted to. I love horror. I'm alright at shooters if I'm playing on my own. But no, I couldn't get into that. My longest platinum trophy ever. Need for Speed, 5 years and 6 months. Oh dear. Don't ask me why. When I initially played this game, let's have a gander. Let's look. 2015, 2016, 2016. All the way down. Bar 1. For some reason, I left this game for 5 years with 1 trophy missing and didn't do it. Why? Duh. Boggles my mind. Obviously, I've not done the DLC, but I'm not fussed about that. Never have been. So yeah, so I went back to that after 5 years just to finish up that 1 trophy that I'd left. I can't see me doing the other 2. I do love racing games. Just Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 is my favourite racing game ever. I love it. It's amazing. I do not see me going back to Heat or Payback to finish off the trophies just because I just can't be bothered. There's all the collectibles and there's just so much stuff that needs to be done. And I like the games. I don't like them that much. I'm not going to lie. Oxenfree, fantastic game. If you play it twice. Trust me. Carrying on, couple of Ratchet and Clanks. I love that. I love Drift Apart. They were both amazing. Rivet she's so cool. It's just crazy. A couple of other random things. Sea of Solitude, that was quite a nice little indie. It's about distressing topics, but it was a fun little game. I enjoyed that. Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I loved this game. I did not love the platinum. The amount of replaying the same fight over and over again just to grind, to get your health maxed, to get your stamina maxed, it just took it out of me. It really, really did. I didn't even mind the time trials. I enjoyed the time trials. They were fun. But just the mindless grinding to get your health maxed was almost a bit too much, I think, in my book. But we did it. It's there. It's done. It was my first very rare platinum. First of, well, not many. But who knows. Shady Part of Me. This is a lovely game. I absolutely adored this. I was playing another much longer, grindier game at the time, so I picked this up to sort of play in between to stagger it out a little bit. It's so relaxing and simple, and yet it just works really well. I would highly recommend you go and check that out if you fancy a little bit of a relaxing indie platformer with some interesting mechanics. Subnautica. Love that game. Took me ages to get into it though. I mean, it took me longer to get the platinum because I don't feel like it's a game that I could binge very much. I feel like I had to take it in bits. But I still loved it. Thought it was fantastic. Tearaway, my one and only Vita platinum. I really did enjoy that game, but there was one of the levels trying to get through without dying was so infuriating. But I did it. It's done. Happy times are here. Just a lovely little game. Here we've got all the dark pictures. I'm not going to talk about Man of Medan. That'll come later. I know they're not technically the best or the most original, but House of Ashes especially, I really enjoyed that this year. Last of Us Part 2, the most controversial PS4 game, possibly. I sit firmly on the side of absolutely loved it. And obviously, the trophy list is much simpler than the first game. I did finish the first game's story and got 4 trophies. So, should tell you all you need to know, eh? What else have we got? The Pathless. This was a great game. I really enjoyed this. It's very rhythmic, very movement orientated, and I hadn't played a game like it before, or since actually. But I absolutely adored it. I thought it was a fantastic game. The art style was brilliant, and I couldn't recommend that enough either. Let's scroll down. Yes, I know The Witcher 3 is there, and at some point in my life I will get to it, okay? Okay, I promise. Uncharted. People are gonna crucify me. I have finished first 3 mainland games and Lost Legacy. I finished them on the PS3. The only one I've gone back to was Drake's Fortune, the first one. And the thing is, I wasn't ready to sit down and reload a checkpoint constantly trying to get all of the combat trophies, like kill 5 enemies in a row after weakening them with guns by punching them. Like, I couldn't be bothered sitting there doing that. It just wasn't what I was looking for at the time. But maybe one day I'll go back. Here we've got another of my many year platinums, Until Dawn. I don't need to talk about this game anymore. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there to tell you that play it. Just play it. If you like horror films and don't mind a bit of horror cheese, then you'll love it, I swear. Nearing the end now. Oh, vampire. Or vampire, or whatever the hell you want to say. This was a case of, I didn't enjoy this game. I was going for the platinum. I liked the setting, I liked the idea, but maybe it was just because I was going for the platinum in one run. That restricts you heavily in what you can actually do in the game. And I just didn't enjoy it. What Remains of Edith Finch, don't need to say any more about that. There's plenty of people out there to tell you to play that as well. Last platinum, Yakuza Like a Dragon. One of my favourite games I played of the year. Absolutely fantastic. I'd never played a Yakuza game before. I know this is a very different Yakuza game to the rest of them, but I absolutely loved it. The characters, the storylines, the side quests, oh my days. There's a group of side quests where you actually have to fight circus animals. Like, there's one where a chimp actually climbs into a digger, and you have to fight a chimp riding a digger. That's all you need to know. And that's it. That is my trophy list. I hope you enjoyed walking through all of my hidden shames with me. There's definitely some things on there I need to clean up, for sure. And maybe that can be something that I can aspire to this year, is clear out some of this trophy backlog. I've got some things lined up and some ideas going. The cogs are whirring. But that's all for now. Till next time. Peace.